Joining us now is Eliezer, brother of Rabbi Avi Goldberg, who fell in southern Lebanon. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
First of all, we of course share our condolences.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, social media is full of emotional reactions to the falling of your brother. So many people adored him, admired him. What could you tell us about him as a brother?
So as a brother, he was like every brother. You know, we had our small jokes and our games. There's quite a big age difference between us. We're almost 5 years, so at certain stages of life, when I was a soldier, he was just bar mitzvah, and so. But in the early days, we were like every two boys. We fought, hit each other, and played together. I looked after him, and later on in life, you know, we tried to stay connected as much as we could over the years. We led different, life took us down different paths, but we were always talking and updating each other in life, kids, trying to connect as much as we could, not enough.
And he had a special connection with people through education, activity, music, and lots of love.
Yeah, there's a sentence in Mishlei, I think, says, "K'mayim hapanim lapanim, ken lev ha'adam la'adam." The way you look at water, you know, when you look at a pond and you see your face looking back at you, that's how the heart of a human being to another human being is. And I think that was Avi. Wherever he went, he had a big heart. He smiled, but it wasn't a smile showing his teeth. It was his heart smiling. And people's heart opened. You know, when you smile from your heart, the other person smiles back at you, and that's what he did. He smiled and he loved, and people loved him. You could not like him, and he touched upon, you know, so many souls and people. If it was his kids in school, his family, his kehillah, his just random people. You know, so many people coming to the Shiva. And we're learning more and more things because he did things, you know, he always was doing things, and he was creative. He found ways of doing good to others, and always an open house and an open heart from a very true and deep place. You know, he never publicized anything. He always did, and he loved, and he was loved.
Now we're talking about a person who was both a rabbi and a fighter and a rabbi.
So he loved Torah. He loved learning. He never stopped learning. He knew he was a real Talmid Chacham. You could never begin a conversation with him without him, you know, quoting, knowing. He was a real Talmid Chacham, not just Gemara and Tanakh, but he knew everything, Rishonim, Achronim, Machshevet Israel, Jewish philosophy. He knew everything, and he had this passion for Torah. And it didn't contradict, because he was a soldier, a fighter. He started off as a fighter in the army service, and then in the reserve in Miluim all through the years. He always did Miluim. He never gave up. He had 6 kids, and then at that point they said, the army released him and said, go home. And he continued, he volunteered. And a bit over 2 years ago, he decided he wants to become a military rabbi, chaplain. And he went to do in the summer, instead of, you know, being on vacation, after the school year, between the school years, he went for a whole month, and he did a course of military rabbis. Of course, like everything else he did in life, he was the best there. He was awarded as the best soldier in the course. And then when the day came that they had to decide where they will post him and where he'll be a military rabbi, he insisted in being in a fighting unit. He wanted to be on the front line. And he believed that being a rabbi isn't a contradiction to being a fighter. So it was one. It wasn't being as well a rabbi and as well a fighter. He was a fighter-Rabbi, a Rabbi-fighter.
And this brings us to the debate these days, the discussions in Israel regarding yeshiva and army. We could understand what your opinion is on this issue, right?
It's not my opinion, it's his opinion. He believed and lived under the deep belief that the Torah is Torah of life, Torah Chaim. You don't combine two things together. It's just the way of life. We are Bnei Torah, sons of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and we take the Torah with us to all what we do. So it's not a contradiction. It's a way of life. So he believed that our brothers from what's called the Torah world, the Bnei Yeshivot, the Charedim who do not serve in the army, should be serving in the army. He didn't think it's a contradiction. He thought and believed, and that's the way of life he led, that you can be a Ben Torah, you can learn Torah, you can live the Jewish halacha. You don't have to give up on anything and do it in the army. It's part of our duty. It's part of our way of life here in Eretz Israel, that we should be all Lomdei Torah and Meshaltei Tzava together, not from the place of accusing or pointing a finger at anyone or being chas v'chalela soneh of anyone, but from a place of Avat Yisrael, a true Avat Yisrael, that we should all be together doing it. He believed that that's the way to do it. That's the way he did it. That's the way he believed that all of us should be doing it, being Anshei Torah, Anshei Emunah, and being in the army, being part of the commitment of protecting the country of God.
Eliezer, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.